in this video, right? One key word. I want you to pick it out and tell me what it is. When you listen to the video, you'll hear, for all the speech and all the talking in there, you're going to hear one key word, right? And that key word is something that you will all understand. Can you all hear me, by the way? Give me a 5B5. Give me a 5B5 in the chat and I'll go live.
The green beret is the mark of Britain's commando forces. It's something we've held on to as Royal Marines since the Second World War. It marks every man in the Corps. It makes you part of a brotherhood that stands apart from everyone else.
The 30 miler is the last commando test. Probably the hardest one. Been in training for 31 weeks now. We're all pretty tired, getting close to the end. I'm feeling probably the most nervous I've felt in all of training. One last push to show that we deserve the respect of that green beret. And at the end of tomorrow, I'll have earned my green lid. I'll be a Royal Marines Commando. The 30 miler is an 8-hour walk/jog across Dartmoor with 40 pounds of kit. Always hit a wall at some point. All they want to do is stop. You know you can't. And there's no option to stop. Physically, it doesn't make a difference how I feel. My car was burning like hell. My shins were absolutely smashed. There's no way I'm coming off that course because I have to finish it.
Grab a nutty bar, grab a pasty if you need it.
It's all about that end goal. I'll have earned the right to be respected by all the other trained ranks. Getting that green lid and being part of that elite club. Be a Royal Marine Commando.
It is a state of mind. It is a brotherhood. And that's exactly what you are. A brotherhood of the English, of the Scots, of the Irish, the Welsh, and the Cornish. But that corps epitomizes and creates the mindset that you are a brotherhood and we will take back our country. And where are they based? Devon. Because the mindset of our ancient people in Devon was it was the most rebellious place ever. They would never surrender. And that video was sent to me, but I just want to make sure I'm giving a shout out to the right group of people here, right? When I made my little dinosaur when I was 6 years old, and I come up and on my bedroom wall, all around that bedroom wall, there were Royal Marine Commandos, right? So you grow up with a mindset, and the mindset is of them people. My life took a different turn. That's not relevant to this. But I do want to say to everyone out there, we have the best, most elite armed forces in the world that are being destroyed by the British, right? We were taken over after the Second World War. 3 years later, they created the British Nationality Act, and then they programmed people to believe they were British when you're English, Scottish, Irish, Cornish, Welsh, right? We all take the piss out of each other. But we come together as a brotherhood, and we defended these islands from Nazis. In doing so, we allowed communism in. And it's about time people understood exactly what's going on, right? Getting back to the original part of this video tonight, I mean, we're going to break into some humour because I've been looking at some things online today. My back got up this morning, like there's nothing wrong with me. It beggars belief, right? So I'm sort of thinking it's not related to a slip disc. There's something else in there that's wrong. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'll tell you what I will do. I will undo my belt. I'm not going to strip off live on camera. I'm just going to make sure it's not pulling too tight across my back. So there was something else I wanted to show you, but I do want to give a big shout out. Funny enough, I won't say too much, but I was in the pub yesterday with a Royal Marine, actually 2 pubs, with a Royal Marine commando, right? The amount of respect I have got for the Corps, right? And certain individuals standing up. I don't know if you realised that one of them stood up and started speaking out about women being brought into the Corps, and he said none of them wanted that, right? And he got helicoptered up into public money, helicoptered up to Whitehall to be cross-examined, and he stood his ground and said, "No, we're not having that. You'll get men killed because of females in our Corps. We don't want it, right? They're what I describe as real men. They are an elite force, and they should not have women in that Corps, right? Stick them in as bandies. They'll probably slip the odd one through as a rubber dagger, but and I think that's the only way they'll get in. I mean, I'm not sure about the angry bootneck. I don't think he's a rubber dagger, but maybe he'll have me on his show and we can have a chat about it. But I'll just listen to him briefly before I come on. He makes me laugh, right? So, and some people out there listening to this won't know the words that I've just used, but we'll have a laugh anyway. Again, the North, I've just seen a comment there. What's up in Cumbria, Whitehaven today? Loads of English flags about certainly proud people. Let me tell you something. The Northwest and the Northeast were 2 of the strongest areas from the census in 2011, and they started to flood them areas because there's something like the Northwest and Cumbria and up right on the borders there was something like 98% white English. And they've still got that core element up there. And we've got to make sure that we get people elected who are going to stand up and say, that's it, we've had enough. But it's about all of us coming together, not as regions of England. That's all bullshit. That's part of the European Union. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm not having a go at anyone. But Rupert needs to let people know that we're going back to shires, right? And individual shires and people governing themselves, and potentially, and this is what I really want, is an English Parliament again. We don't want any association with British political union, right? And the British flag is the flag of the British Parliament. It is not the flag of England. It's not the flag of Scotland. It's not the flag of Northern Ireland. It's not the flag of Wales or Cornwall, right? In fact, there's plenty of flags around here. If you go down and drive another 20 miles down the road, you'll see lots of Cornish flags. They absolutely believe, and they regard that as a country flag, not as a county, and not as a shire, as a country, right? So again, we need to make sure the only way of dealing with this problem is to remove the bits that they've put in place. Manchester had the lowest immigration, but they have flooded in that area in the last 5 years. I'm telling you now, England is under attack, right? And I'm hoping that video at the thing there is about a mindset. It's about a brotherhood, right? And that is what I'm always going to be pushing forward. I always reference our team. It's not just about me, right? You never want a central point of failure. As far as I know, that's exactly how the Royal Marines work, right? Go and ask anyone who's logged a log around, right? It's not about individuals, it's about a team, and you're part of that team, right? But let me show you something else, because this is really important, and I want to go through the description on the video tonight. Let me have a look. It sounds like it was sciatica. I'll get sciatica anyway, but I don't know. I'm pleased with jumping because I'm looking at the chat. I had the scan done yesterday. I was in pain driving there. I was in pain having it done. I was in pain when I come away, but I preferred that because if there is some form of inflammation there, the scanner pick it up and at least they can direct to it. If I went there and I was feeling all right, might be wrong on that, they would be able to look at it. Norfolk and Great Yarmouth, English as well, but slowly changing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So don't forget, we've got some things coming up. I will go back to that in a couple of minutes, but I need to show you one other thing, because this is the key element of tonight's show, is to show this on the screen. Hopefully there's nothing else nasty on that, is there? No. So what I'm going to do is show you this. Screen share, WhatsApp. Right, so on your screen you will see this. This is the image that I put up. I read old books, and there's two young children reading old books, because I would rather learn from those who built civilization than those who tore it down. I couldn't have seen a better meme. I sent a tweet out today. I really need for someone to find a tweet for me. I did put it out there in our group, and we need that retweeted, because one thing that worries me, and it is worrying me, is that Rupert Lowe, if you read the English Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Rights and the Declaration of Reasons, what you see, and especially from the Bill of Rights, it tells you in the preamble that the king was being counselled by evil counsellors, evil judges, and basically evil people all round, right? They were misinstructing the king on what the law was and what the position of the country was, etc., etc., etc. The King's Council, as it were, had been infiltrated, and he was being wrongly advised, right? I personally believe that King Charles III is an out-and-out traitor to this country. I believe he is 100% wrong, and it's not the first time in history it's happened. He's a wrong, but people need to speak about it. And bearing in mind, in the old days, if you spoke out against the monarch, you would lose your head. If you spoke out about the government, you could be imprisoned for life or be hanged. And that's sedition. Sedition and treason are two separate things. Sedition is against the government. Treason is against the monarchy itself, right? But the monarchy is a legal fiction, and the law books state that, and it tells you exactly why it is a legal fiction, because it can never die. It has no soul. It just continues to the next person. That's why you have an Ascension Oath, and you then have the Coronation Oath Act. But what's really important about this is these old law books have not been, the people who wrote them have not been indoctrinated by the British. And the British, in reality, have been in place, I would say, from the mid-1800s, with Karl Marx pushing it forward. And the acceleration come 3 years after we lost the Second World War. And we lost the war to the Soviets because we sided with the Soviets. They were the greatest evil. I'm not suggesting fascists are good, because the English common law forbids both fascism and communism. And again, it's not being applied in this country. But the reason I'm trying to get this over to you tonight is because I think it's really important that people understand that the indoctrination from 1948 onwards, it has affected everyone. And the indoctrination has come from the mainstream media, it's come from academia, it's come from the schooling system, the university system. If you think about COVID, and I believe that has shown more people what state indoctrination can do to people, including families, husbands and wives getting divorced because of the opinions that they had on the COVID jab, right? And I do mean that. I've seen that on many occasions now, where you realise the person that you're living with isn't the person you thought they were, and it created a massive divide with people, even where some of them were nurses, and were giving the jabs, even though they didn't know whether it was good or bad, but because they got extra money. It was good money. That was it. That's all the person was interested in, or people were interested in. So I just want everyone to understand that. So what is the point of this? I read old books because I would rather learn from those who built civilization than those who tore it down. Because our ancestors wrote down from their own mindset in the old books, just to make sure you can see that one. I mean, this one is 227 years old, right? And what you actually read in that book is what our constitution actually is, what our mindset should be. The closest I've seen to it is the United States of America, because our constitution was exported. Let me make sure I'm getting to get comfortable here and not be slouching. That's what people have got to understand. And I think people like Andrew Bridgen can now start to see that there's an element, a large element, that are communist in nature, that are attacking England. And people have started to wake up to that. Like the guy said earlier in there, that everyone's looking at it. Will Angela, thanks for the advice. What's this one? You're welcome. All the best. Just to give a shout out, Dave Ballas, a Middlesex man. Always like to see a Middlesex man out there. Listen, we're fighting for Middlesex. Angelo Hill, you're welcome. Alisa Lunacy Singh, I don't know what that one is. Andy 937 AD. Bri 54. Let me have a look. Anyone else out there? User TM 4ED. Big up Barrow. Barrow is the nuts. Let me just say, I shouldn't really say this, but I will. I've been asking a few times by different people, where you do these seminars all over the country, which is the one that you enjoyed the most? And if I am honest, I would say Barrow in Furness, right? One, because the people are genuine, they're nice people, they're Northerners, I love that. Because Kaz looked after me. I met a number of different people out there. Holy England was one of them. But many people that are great and fantastic people. I met a lady who watched me for years, and when I knocked on her door and said, hello, and she was like, oh my God. Right. So I love the north of England, right? I know sometimes in the past I've got pretty pissed off. But I mean, if I wasn't in Devon now, I'd be hard pressed to I would love to live there, apart from the fact it's freezing fucking cold in Barrow in Furness, right? And everyone says, "Oh, you're fucking southerner," right? But yeah, that was really, really, really good. Doing a carnival diet when I was living up there with Kaz, and again, I don't know, is Kaz in the actual chat? I ain't seen Kaz in there for a little while. Kaz, tune in and give me a shout out if you're there. So it was fantastic, and she well looked after me. It was fantastic. Went out for walks with me back to try and keep it up and working, and all of that helped. It's warm in Barrow. It's not warm in Barrow. Well, it wasn't warm in Barrow when I was there. The most recent book I bought on eBay is The Original Illustrations in English Constitution History by... Oh, that's what I like. So she's not in chat. I wonder where Kaz has gone. Kaz, if you're out there, look, and she might have a job or something, or she might be tired and asleep, or something going on in the background. Ray Edmonds is out there. Let me have a look. Kew Gardens is out there. Nosy Poke is out there. Sir Guy Fawkes is out there. Makeshift Pen 12 is out there. What are people like in Devon? Do they say hi when you're on your walks? Yeah, they do. I mean, this is a small community that I live in. If you go out at any time, you see people, everyone says hello to each other. Everyone says good morning, good evening, if it's in the evening. Most people talk to you in a pub, or there's one pub that I think is a bit cliquey. But my pub, they've sort of got used to me being the gnome in the pub. But they are quite interesting. Once they know that you're there and you're part of the community, they're like, all right, let's get to know them a little bit. So they are nice people. And yeah, within reason, I don't think, touch wood, apart from the rugby cup playing up once, they're decent people. But most people that go in the rugby club are not locals. Makeshift, they were really friendly. They are friendly, Devon people. I'm not being horrible in any way whatsoever about Cornwall, but Cornwall are a bit like Wales. They don't like people moving into Cornwall. If you buy an ice in Cornwall, and I sort of get it, because they ain't got any houses, and you're forcing the house prices up, and especially when people are doing them just as holiday lets and all that, just to make money, and they ain't got the money to buy an house, and then you've got rich people coming in that have already fucked up London, and then buying all these houses up, keeping the people out, and everyone comes down and looks at the beach for 2 weeks, and that's it, right? I get that. I understand completely what, that they're not liking that very much. All look the same in the village, Graham. Laugh out loud. It's funny you should say that. I had a conversation about the wash in Norfolk. I should really play that video, because I went to see one of our members and stayed at the wash, and she lives there. And I said, listen, I'm not being rude, but they all look like each other around here. I said, I went into the petrol garage, and the geezer behind the jump looked like the geezer at the van filling up for fuel, and looked like the geezer sitting in another van. They all look like each other, like they're all brothers or something. And she laughed and then said, there's a video of the people on the wash taking the piss out of each other, right? I'll have to show you the video. It's a song, basically. And they're like, we're the hillbillies of the wash, and then they're going into it. And I just thought it was funny that they would take the piss out of each other. But and I did explain this to someone the other day, that the term village idiot actually come from the English in particular, and other people in the British Isles, interbreeding. And they realised in the 1800s it was bad, and they didn't make a law. They just stopped people from doing it and said stop doing it. But the village idiot was basically the result of interbreeding. And by the way, there's two groups of people, or a number of groups of people in this country that still do it. It's not just Islam. Just to let you know. HJs all look like Uncle Alberts. Yeah. It is funny. In Norfolk, they are inbred, they are all the same person. Yeah, listen, I'm not getting into all of that. I'm just saying, so let me get back to this because it's quite important. The reason why I am concerned about this, and I'm going to leave this up on the screen while I'm talking, is because Rupert Lowe and his team are being counselled, not cancelled, counselled by people like Stephen Barrett, the Black Belt barrister, David Starkey, and others, and anyone, frankly, that has been through a university law system or been educated by a university. They are products of the slow march through the institution. That worries me. I would rather speak to someone who has got their own interest in the law and the constitution, that is reading the old law books and saying this is the actual law, this is what our ancestors put in place to protect us, this is their opinions, and then so your ancestors are like talking to you and telling you no, right? This is why we put it in place, and it's now coming to fruition. And what the slow march through the institutions have done is erased that, and especially the political parties. So again, if you all understand that the state is trying to eradicate homeschooling, right? Can you imagine someone like me on a homeschooling tour, and the kids come along, and then I do a program of teaching them the English Constitution, and it would go into their minds, and they would understand what it is and understand they have rights, and that they can stand up and say, I am an Englishman, or I am a Scotsman, or I am an Irishman. They wouldn't use these other terms, right? That's what they've tried to eradicate. And again, it was John Major that pushed through a lot of this with Toryism. I got rid of Margaret Thatcher. John Major started to push it through, and especially regionalisation, right, and started to attack England. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up, and I just want to make sure everyone gets that. I am very concerned, and there is a tweet out there. If anyone can find the tweet for me, there is a tweet out there. Let me see if I can go and see if anyone sent it to me. There is a tweet. Yeah, you ain't in it. You're a foreigner in Cornwall. You an Emmett if you are a foreigner in Cornwall. Yeah, foreigners in Cornwall, and they'll class anyone as a foreigner in Cornwall, including someone who comes from Devon. And that's the truth. I haven't got a problem with that. And if they wanted full independence, I'd say, yeah, go on, crack on. We must make them pay dearly for what they've done to the youth in our London and sicken me to the court. No, I agree. Stefan Watt, I agree. Jay Thornton, court evening. Wilner, Paul Rumlin, Tracy Truism, everyone out there. Where's my old mate Kathleen? Where's she gone? She's still not in the chat yet. We'll have to find out if she's all right. I'll send her a message in a minute. In fact, I'll send her a message in now, just to make sure she's all right when I'm talking about her. Oh, my phone's going down to 9%. Let me have a look. Let's see if Kaz is up there. Scan. I'm going to do this and then we'll jump on to the next subject because I think it's really important. Only because you can witness it for yourself. Where's she gone? She's not there. Where's my little mate? Can't find her. Probably in there somewhere. Oh, there she is. Just sent her a message. Right. So the next part of this, and it's really important for me to say this to you. I went out the other day with a couple of people from Devon, and we went to a place called Exmouth. Right? Has everyone heard of Exmouth and been to Exmouth? Not Dartmouth, Exmouth, the town. Right? Anyone been there? It's lovely, by the way. But I noticed something. Hello, David Dowds from Northern Ireland. How you doing, son? Don't forget, promote us out in Northern Ireland. Restore Britain and the English Constitution Party, because we won't stand against them. We were setting up to put candidates out in Northern Ireland, so they need to. The Restore need to know we've done quite a big thing, and if they think we're tiny and we ain't got much of a following, trust me, we've caused more problems for the political elites in this country than anyone else. We've had candidates that have stopped Conservative Party candidates getting elected. Trust me, right? Exmouth, and what I noticed was a vibrant town. Right? I've made notes of this because I want to make sure I get this right. A vibrant town, technically in the winter still, right? It's in March. Shops was open. There weren't many It wasn't very run down. There was nice people. The pubs was open. It was full of people. But why? And one of the things that I noticed as we drove around, pulling up, there was parking spaces, and although there were, you had to pay for the parking spaces, which I don't think is right. Right? There's another way of dealing with that. In other words, you don't want campers pulling up and staying there for a week because there's no parking restrictions. But most of the parking was 2 hours, right? So you could pull up. You had enough time to get out, go to a shop, go to something to eat, go to another shop, do this, do that. 2 hours is enough time to do X, Y, Z, right? An hour is a lot too short. You ain't got enough time with an hour to nip into a pub and get something to eat, right? Or go browsing around 3 or 4 shops. But I noticed that, and that does have a massive, massive effect. And it's a really beautiful place. Loads of old buildings. Some of the buildings there. I mean, I was looking at one of them. I went, it's an old building, and there was a structure that come out that was built like it's a museum. I think but it was old, and it was built like the captain's cabin. You know, the old glass captain's cabins that come out of ships, and it was built like that. And I was like, just standing there, looking at it. It was all like different shapes and everything, but it was fantastic. But just to make sure, the local council had obviously managed in allowing the local businesses and everyone to come into Exmouth and shop and create the wealth, which is what they're doing. There was very few, as I see it, very few corporate entities, if you understand what I mean. Those all local shops and local businessmen and local people, right? Which is the way it should be. I think I was told that they tried to open a Costa Coffee up there, and the council said no. Just to let you know, so it was being managed for the community, right? All right, okay. So I've just got a message back. Yeah, she's fine. She's around her friend's house. Juicy and Lucy, hi, woohoo. Holly England, that's interesting. If you wish to send Graham a personal donation, yeah, thanks for that. Wyvern78's out there. So that's the main thing I want to say on that. But people joining Restore Britain and why? I think it's the first time in my lifetime that the real People's Army can see a real leader that's not going to let them down, that's going to march forward. They was conned with Farage. Farage has always been a con man from start to finish. I mean, I got suckered into that with UKIP. It was the first political party I ever joined, and I was always political from a young age. I mean, I was 19. I was on the board of governors in my local school, right? So for me, then later on in life, to be suckered into UKIP and then realising, don't forget, Farage, when he won he wasn't expecting to win the referendum. And there's some skullduggery going on with that. But he walked away. You know, that's when the real work had to be done. Whereas Rupert Lowe is not like that. You can tell he's already putting in the work and planning. If we take power, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it? And we need a plan for it, and we need to execute the plan once it happens, right? He's already doing that. And don't forget his 100-page plan or report on exactly how they're going to do it. There's little tweaks that I would make, but listen, I would make tweaks because I would reference the Constitution, British Nationality Act, etc., and make sure that people are doing that. Let me have a quick look and see if I can find that. Yeah, so people need to. So again, what's that one? Ancient English. I'm okay for a second meeting. There's plenty. By the way, there's more. There's quite a few people, our people, that have applied to join, right? And many of them are getting interviews. One of the things it allows us to do, without me saying too much, is how many of them people get knockbacks, and they're good people, and it's really hard to find candidates. To find people that actually want to stand up and do it, right? I mean, in fact, people like me, right? Get people up there who can do public speaking, who's going to walk forward, who's going to say, "This is it, right? We're with you. We're going to do it," and they're intelligent enough to do it. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to people. That what I mean is they are critical thinkers. They can sit there and say, "Well, that goes against the Constitution, right? You can't do that." Quite a few of our members are replying. So what I will be seeing is in effect is a feedback mechanism to whether or not they're not interested in the English, they're not interested in the Constitution, they're not interested, and that will give us an indication. That's why we're not shutting down a party, right? I'm aligned with 80% of what they're saying, right? So why would you argue against them? That's the crucial thing. Why would you argue against someone you are 80% with? You're never gonna get 100% agreement with anyone, right? It's just about pushing it forward. Like I've even said, there is a compromise, and a compromise from us is that you abolish, make void at least 50 subversive laws going back over 100 years, and you take them out, right? You abolish them because they are the subversive elements that have destroyed England. And I think that they've started to listen. So that's the most important thing that we need to do, is to keep pushing that forward. Holy England, restore Britain, ask me. If I was in ECP and in my vetting process during a video call, yeah, they have started asking them questions, but we will be able to see what their true opinions are. And it's not. Let me tell you something. I think if you, and again, we put this statement out, we will not stand against you, right? But that also and it's a discussion I need to have. I'm not having a bitch at them, by the way. They must be inundated if they got 120,000 members in like a few weeks. They must be inundated. I can see that. Listen, even doing this, when we started this party, we had thousands of members, but not hundreds of thousands, right? That was hard enough, right? Because you're working largely with a team of people. Let me have a look. I don't want to read any things. There's some things that's coming up on my screen that I don't want to read out. There are things, and I don't want to appear that we're negative to Restore, because we're not, right? We are positive to Restore. We're positive to Rupert Lowe. Part of it, if he starts slating off the working class, I might tell him to Oscar, right? But we need to come together as a brotherhood. Go and look at the video at the beginning, which I played, right? But let me just read this. I won't read it out. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what they do. But even if, so if that's the bit that I look at, if they use our patriotism and alignment against us, that would be completely unfair, right? Because they want people to say, right, let's all work together. And then if they're going to start then saying, I'm not interested in anyone who comes from this party and that party, this party or that party, that would be wrong, right? Just to make sure everyone's aware of that. But that, again, there are areas that I know that they will not stand, and we possibly would stand there. So we're not, and again, never think we're surrendering, because we won't surrender. We're just strategically, if they're 80% aligned, that's what we should be aligning with them, not causing problems for them. In fact, we should be promoting them, especially if they speak about England. That's the biggest thing, isn't it? You know, Rupert, can you talk about England? And then if you go and have a look at his tweets, if you search Rupert Lowe on Twitter and England and then put English, right, brings up all his tweets where he's actually stood there and said, I'm English. I come from England. My country is England. He's actually said it in his tweets. I haven't seen anyone else do that. Crucial snippets of Graham info. Full English show. Juicy and Lucy, well done for putting that out. Cat Angel, I'm back. It's all good now. All tabbed out to the max now. Good. That's what I like to hear. So, so that's what I want to say. And there are people, quite a few people emailing me, and they're sending me the thing to say that they have joined. And there's another link, and I need the link where if you want to be a candidate, you click on this link and you can ask them. Was David Amy's birthday yesterday? David Amish was a lovely fella, slaughtered, murdered, assassinated, whatever you want to describe it as, because British state knew that was going to happen. And remember, he used to walk around with an English night kit on, like a Templar. Bill of Rights, Diddy, you still got his English scoff. Still got his English scoff. Diddy, you still got his English scoff. What does that mean? Scotch. I ain't got a clue what that means. If you want a savour, we shall give them one. Right. And again, so I'm going back to the references with Restore Britain. I'm concerned that the leadership team need to be educated via a seminar about the English Constitution, right? And I believe they would be very interested in it. I know that there's some people out there, again, people really do need to understand that we need to move forward. I don't think this is the last chance. I think the chances have already gone. I think we're already technically in a civil war. It's just not kinetic at the moment, right? But we're already in a civil war. You're not running out of time. You run out of time previously. Just to make sure that everyone knows that. Comedy to gold, Chris has a hand on that. I'll get to it. No, that's all right. So there's a couple of things I want to show you before. Hopefully. Again, I've got a seminar coming up. Hopefully my back's going to be fine. I'm not going to cancel. I'm going to do it. But I've literally got to make sure that I've organised my back to such an extent that it don't go pear-shaped on me. Let me have a quick look. Can't even remember if I took the other 2 tablets or not. It's a bit awkward when you're drugged up to the eyeballs. What's this one? Christ is king. We must repopulate the colonised city, the sovereignty of our people. No, I will find it in a minute. There was a particular video, particular one that I sent out. Let me have a look and see if I can find it. It will be in my notifications. Let me see if I can find it for you. Every nation in the United Kingdom. The enemy's flag. Yeah, and these people need to start understanding that the British flag represents Parliament. It don't represent the nations. That may be how it started out, but it certainly isn't anymore. There are at least 50 ultra-vire laws. Yeah, I sent that out. How many people have seen that? Quite a few people have seen that one. Private equity is not the common law. Unfortunately, that is a British system. Abolish the British Nationality Act. There's loads of people sending that one out at the moment. There's quite a few of my tweets out there. So if you go through my timeline, you will find it. Let me see if I can go and find. I need to go to my profile to find that. Not that one. Or is it that one? No, that one. Let's have a look and see if I can find it. Yeah. No, not that one. I'll be with you in 30 seconds because we're going to go into some other bits and pieces. Let's see if I can restore. Is that it? There's some great stuff out there at the moment. Let's see if I can find it. I'm getting close, I'm sure. Was that the one? I can't find it. It's out there, though, but it was a really good tweet, but I needed it massively retweeted. I'm sure I sent it out to people today in either the Full English Moderators or the other executive group. So what was I about to tell you? Oh, I know. Apologies. Don't forget I'm on codeine and a few pints, which you're not supposed to mix, but I'm like that. I'm definitely a bit of, what is that? Why ain't any on there? Oh, yeah, I found it on my own feed, look. That was the one I wanted you to share. The more people to share it, the more people care, and we'll get it out there. Where's my little knob gone? Here it is. That's the one I want shared massively if you can. Right? It's basically saying what I've said tonight, but people will look at it and say that. But what I can't work out is why. Let's have a look if it's on this one. Let's go off of that. Let's see if I can go. I've got 2 other things. Graham Moore photo. I took some parts. Where's that gone then? Let's have a look and see if I can find it on here. Oh, I know. I didn't put it in there. Let me have a quick look. Put me in there. Oh. I'll find it in about 2 seconds for you. It weren't there. Yeah, I found it for you. Right, so we need to show you this on the screen. I apologise. It's me trying to remember where I put things. Right, there, the English Constitutional and Common Law Seminar. Discover your inalienable rights, constitutional rights, what they are, why they matter, and how the state is working to take them away. Find out what you can do to protect your freedoms before it's too late. Everyone welcome. 7 p.m. Qstoke Village Hall, Crooks Lane, Qstoke, Western Supermare, BS22 9XJ. Right, so it's there. All you've got to do is understand exactly what that's for. Right, so and the next one is this one. On your screen again, English Constitution Society, English and Common Law Seminar. Everyone welcome. £10 on the door. We're asking for donations because it costs money to go all over the country. This is reasonably local, which is 2 hours, but someone's got to come here, help me drive here, put the stuff in their motor or my motor, and then help me set up, which is what they're doing. They're reasonably local to here, but it's still going to be a fucking long day, right? Western Supermare. Self-determination is the number one human right. It's on Tuesday, the 7th of April, 2026, right? So there it is. We're telling everyone that we're there. Again, this one has been booked up for a long time. The lady was quite pleased that we was coming along to do it. So if there's anyone in Somerset that wants to come along to one of our constitutional seminars, there it is, right? So it's on the screen as we speak, just to make sure everyone understands that. And then I'll advertise another one. There's something else, but at the moment we need to kick on with that. Keep advertising that. I'm going to do a little video about it as well, so everyone understands. It's like my mind clear. How much to join English Constitution Party? Only 20 quid to join the store. Yeah, we're not interested in so it's 50 quid to join the English Constitution Party. If anyone out there puts a price on it, Rupert Lowe and others have got, Rupert Lowe's got £30 million wrapped around him, right? And if you think you're going to, create this political party, we're already shut down. And just to make sure everyone's warned on this, and I want to tell you this, right? Literally a foreigner, Thai national, has given Reform 20 million, right? He lives external, he's a Thai citizen, he may have, and he has in fact got a dual nationality, but that ain't the point. A foreigner is in fact giving him £20 million, right? You can't run political parties. And by the way, if anyone wants to step up and run a political party, I will put you in touch with Val, right? And if you knew the work involved, and we've got volunteers doing it, right? But there's things that we have to do in the background. There's regulations and hoops you have to jump through. Yeah, we're not interested. In fact, if you want to join the ECP for 20 quid, you're on the wrong channel. In fact, I would say to everyone listening to this, it may be just having a laugh and joke, but it's not funny when the amount of work and effort that we put into this. So just to let you know, 60 quid, not too much. Next pension day, I'm joining. No, listen, I get people turn around. I had one geezer say to me who joined the party, right? He joined the party and he went to, and everyone was bitching saying we want concessions for elderly people and all that. I said, well, who's going to pay for all this stuff? Who's going to pay for what we do? Who's going to pay for the campaigns? Who's going to pay for all this, right? Just to let you know, right? And then this geezer said to me, listen to this, right? He said to me, you know, what you should do is you need to put your leaflet through every letterbox in the country. I said, thank you for the donation. Obviously, I'll let you deal with the printing costs and the postal costs, but thank you for the donation, right? That alone comes to millions, right? Not just not 10,000, not 20,000. An average campaign now would cost you. I mean, we've done it on the cheap. Would cost you anywhere between 10 and 20,000, and the bigger parties are spending £120,000. In fact, they're allowed to spend £185,000, and that would still be, you wouldn't get any mainstream media representation whatsoever. They will not allow you anywhere near the mainstream media, right? What you rely on is word of mouth. It's a 50-year, you see, 50 a year, yeah. I mean, you're better off, I'm being honest with you, joining the English Constitution Society, because it's an educational society. We still need funding, right? But that means I can go out and talk to Restore Britain. I could talk to Reform if they ask me to. I doubt they ever will. I could talk to the Labour Party. I could talk to anyone. I can talk to any of these people. And they would say, yeah, no, we want you to come along and talk about the English Constitution. And you can just educate people. What do you get for 50 quid? I don't know. You'd have to ask Tracy that. Ace Jace, a lot of people out there are all mouth and no action. I agree entirely. I mean, we had one person who joined the party and paid his 50 quid, sent me an email, a very large email, and wanted me to take up his case where the police had abused him and the police had done this and the police, not being funny with you, I'm not going to give you the details. It was obvious he was a fucking lunatic, right? And I hadn't responded to him because I get lots of them emails from fucking raving lunatics, right, that think if they join the party, all of a sudden they've got a solicitor come barrister that's going to, you know, take on the world for them, and you're only as good as your client, by the way, right? But just to make sure you're all aware of this, I'm not going to go into the detail like I said. But then he started sending, within days, by the way, of not getting a response from me, started sending really abusive emails, disgusting emails, right? Tracy dealt with them, I didn't, and I'm not going to say anything about them, right? But they're the type of lunatics that you have to put up with, right? I mean, a full Comanche nutcase, right? You know, when they talk about care in the community, they shut the nut houses down, and these people live in the community. And sometimes the police, armed police, are called out to deal with them. That was one of them people, right? So just to let you learn, I have learned so much already by being a member of the English Constitution Party. Great value. Ace Chase, no. All I want is for people to understand that our ancestors give us something, and you know, we're supposed to pass it on. Our ancestors didn't fill this country up with Pakistani Muslims. It's worth every penny. Thank you. Everything costs money. I mean, don't forget that. Listen, we've got a Mickey Mouse war we're involved with whether we want to be or not, with Iran, right? And then petrol's like going through the roof. And then you're trying to drive places and you're thinking, oh, fucking hell, the costs are going up. It's funny. Yeah, no, Taffy Pat, what you just said there's bang on. I mean, I just mentioned Kaz in the chat there because I ain't seen her for a little while, right? And we are like, even though I'm busy and I'm thinking about different things and all that, right? I just sent her a message and said, are you okay, right? She said, and she's come back to me and said, yeah, thanks. And she said, why are you asking? Because you ain't seen me in the chat. I said, yeah. And she's just said, so thanks for noticing and thanks for contacting me. I'm okay, much appreciated. I do try and catch up during the days as I put around. She's just busy. So some people can't do it all the time. But we're like a big family, right? And that's the way it should be. You know, you're not popping off people and all that. And that's why I don't want any silliness or aggression towards Restore. I don't think Restore are deliberately. I do not believe that they. I think they could be persuaded. I mean, they've already said we want to bring back hanging, right? That could be the first step, right? Because I want to hang the fucking judges that have done this to us. It ain't just the politicians; it's the fucking judges as well. King Alfred hanged 44 judges, right? Because they had passed judgments where Englishmen or women had then died as a result of their judgment, whether it was in criminal law or civil law, they've done something. But the people, so he said, that's it. You made them judgments. Your solemn oath was not only to God, but to me. I represent God, right, as the English king. Therefore, you will hang for perjuring your oath. And he fucking strung up 44 judges, right? We have an impeachment process in this country, and once people learn the real law of England, by the way, it's all still there. The impeachment process is still there. Once you impeach them, you remove them, they lose all of their pensions, they lose their houses, they lose everything. They become destitute, and their fucking families, right? But it sends a message, right? I'm not suggesting we hang, draw, and quarter them, but we certainly want to hang them. And I would put them judges in front of a jury and say, you did this. You did this to our children. You did this to what our ancestors bought. You took away, and they're only a small group of people. 3,300 judges. At least 1,000 of them judges need to go before a judge and jury. Right. That's all I'm saying to you. So, but before you get to that position, from strategy, you need to bring back hanging. So, how do we know he's not even got that in his mind? I think he may have, to be honest. So anyway, that's that there. Right, I'm going to stop sharing that at the moment because I've got the wrong thing up on the screen. Well, not the wrong thing, but I can't believe it's April already either. Right, so there's a lot of things going on there. Someone's just sent me something. Is that the one? Restore Britain. That's it. So Jimmy from Northern Ireland just sent me the right thing. Which is fantastic. And don't forget, I've got to go and lay down and sort my back out. And hopefully I'm all right. I don't know whether I took them other tablets or not. When did I take them tablets? I don't think I took them tonight. Well, you've got to be careful of. You take too many of the fucking things. Are you free this weekend at some point? Who's this? Is this about little bird asking me for a date? Who said that? DD, that email, the 50 laws you would void. DD, does that tell the 50 laws you would void? No, but so you have to start somewhere. Yeah, spike and strap a golf cart on the side of a rocket. Let's have a look. You can use advanced numerology, number and capability. What's that? Select candidates every turn. Right, places, energy. I don't know what that means, but we'll go there. Tracy, from what time? Don't know. What's that? I look forward to when you do the courses, DJ. No, we are gonna be. That's all gonna be sorted out. I'm looking forward to concentrating on the English Constitution Society. Still having the party there, but to be using our skill set as a group of people, because I think we're fantastic as a team, and start pushing forward Restore. Because people are definitely now talking about the English Constitution. DD, get a little table box with 7 compartments for each day of the thing. Yeah, I know. Someone else said they was going to get me one of them. JF Court, I thought that we'd sorted it out, but I hadn't. I had tried the emails for well over a year. What emails? I thought we'd sorted it out, but I haven't had any emails for well over a year. No. DD, try and watch the rest of the Vindicator. He mentioned you and the Constitution. Oh, did he? I went on Vindicator, listened to a lovely lady, Nelly, I think her name was, from South East London. I said, from what she's describing, she lives in Woolwich. And only because I live 10 minutes up the road. And I completely forgot about it because I fund DD through locals. Yeah, no, there's a lot of things. But there you go. So let me just make sure. Let's see. Let me have a look. No. Let me have a look at this one up. Christ is King. Dennis and Graham, newsagent, 6100. Let me have a look there. Question: if the king has purged his oath, not purged it, perjured his oath, does this mean legal tender is worthless and fraudulent? Or can the police and judiciary continue to represent the crown? No, forget the legal tender side of things. It means so we have a separation of powers: the crown, the judiciary, and that's why it's so important. And Parliament, both sides of Parliament, right? They're not operating independently, and I can go into detail with the Act of Settlement to explain why. And by the way, it's against the law what they're doing, right? The king has perjured his oath. The last time that happened, there's been a number of occasions I could point out with other kings and queens, including Queen Elizabeth II. But they're being badly advised. But this king has gone beyond everything that I've seen. And if you look at the Glorious Revolution, it was quite clear that, and they made it clear because there was an argument about absconding or whether he absconded or abdicated, and the Lord said we want to use the word abdicated, and that was the legal term adopted. And what they basically said was, you do not need to put pen to paper to abdicate. You don't need to verbalize your abdication either. You can abdicate by deed because you perjure your oath by what you're doing, right? And that's exactly what the King of England today has done. King Charles III, not my king. He has legally abdicated. So if that is the case, you would still have an executive operating, but the executive is, and by the way, the executive is far too big. Constitutionally, it's unlawful, and it says that in the Act of Settlement. We don't watch any adverts. White Dragon adverts drive us crackers. What's that, mate? Well, will not. Tomorrow in my source is correct. I don't know what's going on. The Northern Ireland Independence Project could open a door to English independence. Have you read Common Sense? Have you read Common Sense? It's a bit about hidden trapdoor. Pursue properly. Let me have a look. King Charles III. Not exactly that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching me. Please tune in Monday evening. Hopefully my back will improve over the weekend. Touch wood. But sometime next week I should get an indication of what's wrong with my back, and go from there. So I don't want to spend too long bullshitting people. I am going, in other words, waffling, not bullshitting, but waffling, because I want to lay down. That's it. But everyone, don't forget, we've got the big event coming up in Norfolk. Got our big event at Maplethorpe, and that is going to be a 2-day event. I want everyone to try and get there. right? And it needs to be displayed and put in the chat so people can click on it. You can book accommodation there. It's going to be a 3-day event really, but a 2-day of me speaking. I'm hoping to get some other people there, but I don't know who yet. That's it. Good night. God bless. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution, and it is. The English Constitution is the solution. That's it. Tilly poo, au revoir, and I will see you all Monday evening. Don't be getting a stretcher to the pub. No, I won't. I've got to calm down with my back.